A solo hiker sets out into Rocky Mountain National Park. Just her, the snow, and a trail she and a close friend had returned to again and again. This time she's alone. At least that's what she thinks. Deep in the stillness, she hears a voice call her name. A voice that shouldn't be there. And when she opens the shelter door the next morning, she finds two sets of prints in the snow, both leading in, but only one will come out. This is Odd National Park, where the natural meets the supernatural. Let us know you want to hear more outdoor paranormal stories like the one in this episode. Follow Odd National Park and visit the support page on our website to help us keep uncovering the strange, the unexplained, and the wilderness in between. Thank you. Tonight's story comes from Eliza, an experienced winter hiker who ventured alone into Rocky Mountain National Park on a trail she and her closest friend had hiked together many times before. She thought she was going there alone, but sometimes the trail gives more than just memories. Nestled in the northern Colorado Rockies, Rocky Mountain National Park spans over 400 square miles of alpine lakes, towering peaks, and dense pine forest. In winter, it becomes something quieter. Snowshoe trails stretch for miles through untouched backcountry, and the silence settles thick across the landscape. For those who know the terrain, it's a place of solitude and clarity. But it's also a place where the line between memory and reality can blur. Here's Eliza's story. I'm not new to winter hiking. I've done solo backcountry routes in Idaho, Washington, even Canada. I've had some amazing experiences. Solitude, beauty, even close calls. But this one was different. It was my most memorable trip, but not for what you would expect, and it was definitely an experience worth sharing with Odd National Park listeners. My trip into Rocky Mountain National Park wasn't supposed to be a solo hike. I planned to go with a close friend, Lena. We'd been hiking partners since middle school, two kids who felt more at home in pine trees than school hallways. We'd done this loop before, same trail, same shelter. It was kind of our thing. But a few days before the trip, she had to back out because of work. Too much going on. We promised to reschedule, so I went alone. The trail was quiet. The weather was calm. Sunlight filtered through the snow-covered pines, and the air was sharp and clean. Every breath felt like it cleared something out of me. The snow had that soft, powdery hush that makes even the smallest sound feel distant. It was beautiful in a way that made the solitude feel magical. Around midday, I stopped to rest beside a frozen lake. I hadn't seen another soul since I left the trailhead. No prints, no animal tracks, just snow. Everything should have felt familiar, but I could tell something had shifted. There was a stillness, not just quiet, but a clarity. And that's when I heard Lena's voice saying my name. Eliza. Not a yell, not a whisper, just a quiet, casual tone like we were having a conversation. I spun around. Nothing. No wind, no movement. I stood there for a long time trying to figure out if I'd imagined it. Eventually, I told myself it was nothing, a trick of the cold, just a lonely brain trying to fill the silence. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that I heard Lena's voice, like she was there, with me. That night, I made it to my destination. A backcountry winter shelter, nothing fancy. Just a single-room wood structure with a raised platform for sleeping, a tiny stove, and a door that didn't quite seal. No windows, no insulation, but it was dry and out of the elements. I didn't bother making a fire. The air felt heavy with a pre-storm stillness, and something about the dark just felt thick. I got into my bag, closed my eyes, and fell asleep. Around 3 a.m., I sat bolt upright. Not because I heard something, at least not at first. It was more like pressure, like the silence around me had tightened. And then Lena's voice. Eliza. It was the same tone I'd heard before, calm, like she was trying to get my attention without startling me. I froze. I didn't move, didn't breathe, just stared into the dark. Then again, closer this time. Left foot first. I hadn't heard that since the last hiking trip Lena and I took together. It was a silly inside joke from when we were teenagers. Lena always said it before a steep climb or a tough section of trail, exaggerating it like some ancient hiker's proverb. We'd laugh every time, but over the years it became a ritual. That's when I stopped telling myself there was a logical explanation. It felt like her voice was inside the shelter, not outside the door, not echoing off the trees. She was right there, with me. I didn't speak. I didn't move. Eventually the silence returned, but it didn't feel empty. At the time, I didn't understand why she said what she said. Not here, not now. It wasn't until later that I realized she was telling me something. I got ready to leave as soon as the sky turned gray. Didn't eat, just packed up and stepped toward the door. When I opened it, I froze. I saw 2 sets of snowshoe prints, side by side. Both led into the shelter, but only mine would come out. I stepped outside, scanning the woods. It started gently snowing, but there were no animals, no wind. Just the low hush of snowfall settling onto everything. I looked back down to make sense of what I was seeing. 2 tracks in, mine, and another that didn't belong to me. That's when I thought of Lena. We hiked this loop together many times before. She loved it in winter, said it was the best time to be on the mountain. And then, standing in the snow, staring down at the 2 sets of prints, I understood. Left foot first. I thought it was just a memory, a shared joke echoing in my head. But in that moment, I knew it was something else. It was her way of saying goodbye. I made it back to my truck at the trailhead by mid-afternoon. As I was driving, Lena's brother called with the news I already felt in my bones. Lena had passed away. Sudden, unexpected. She went to the ER around the time I heard her voice at the frozen lake. She would die early the next morning, the same time I woke up in the shelter, hearing her with me one last time. Some stories aren't meant to be scary. They're quiet, personal, the kind that slip past logic and settle somewhere deeper. Eliza didn't see a shadow in the trees or hear a bump in the night. She heard a voice, gentle, familiar, saying something only she would recognize. And when she opened the shelter door that morning, there were 2 sets of tracks in the snow. One of them shouldn't have been there. It wasn't a haunting. It was a parting. And maybe, out there in the stillness, goodbyes have their own way of finding us. Would you like your outdoor paranormal story featured on a future episode? Go to oddnationalpark.com and send it to us using the Share Your Story form. And be sure to visit the support page on our website so we can continue our adventure where the natural meets the supernatural. Thanks for tuning in. I'm James, and this has been Odd National Park.